the thing I wanted to start with, and I don't know if it's a good way to start, but I was listening to your album this morning, and now if I
Uh-huh.
look behind you and if you look behind me, there's a lot of rain coming down. It's gray skies.
Yeah.
Um, how much of your music, and I kind of know the answer, but how much of your music is supposed to be about sunshine and having fun?
A lot. A lot of that. I think it's a balance though. Although sometimes when you hear the album and you listen to the music, sometimes the music tells a different message than the lyrics. And that I do a lot, because also in the song Sophia, I actually talk about a breakup, but the song is very summary, or very positive, because I like the contrast. I just like the positive and negative, and then something cool happens in between, kind of
Right.
thing.
Well, if we go to kind of that summer feel first, do you have a favorite summer holiday memory?
Um, oh, I have so many. I was actually the favorite ones are just really actually the ones that they're closer to home. Is the ones that I used to always do with my parents, my grandparents, in the Costa Brava in Spain, and that's just up north from Barcelona. And there's a few beaches there. My grandparents, they had they still have a little boat. And then we go out with the boat, and then we just dip in the water, and it's just doing nothing all day. And like, I don't know, 15 years ago or even more, 20 years ago, we were like kind of fishing there, like
Okay.
little fishes from the ocean, and then doing like a paella and fideuà. So these kind of summers for me with my family, they were great. Yeah.
If I remember my own summer holidays, there's always been links to certain music I was listening to at the time.
Oh
Is
yeah.
that the same for you?
Uh, yeah, like not really in that time.
Okay.
Not in that time, there was not so much music. I mean, I was listening to music, but I don't really remember which it was,
Mm.
because it was just a crazy feeling. Everything that we were, I was just probably listening to music that my parents listened to, like a lot of Phil Collins and Elton John, and all of that. That I remember from the car rides, of
Okay.
course, but like not on the boat. And the boat didn't even have speakers.
Fair enough. Yeah, you have to get a little bit closer to nature, and then it's good not to have all that technology around as well. So,
Yes, exactly.
um,
Yeah.
but when it comes to kind of summer music, then um, this is going to be maybe a difficult question to answer. But what makes a good summer song, a good anthem for the summer in a way?
I think first of all, it depends on the perspective, because I kind of do songs that are just positive,
Mm.
and then people determine them as summer songs because first it's in Spanish, and second of all, it's in summer you want to listen to positive music because you have problems all day long, every day in your routine you've got problems, and then in summer you just want to listen to something that gives you happy vibes and not think of work. So um, I think giving the song enough energy when I'm writing it, for me is like it's pretty easy actually to write you know a song that is positive if you're a positive person, because you just have to put yourself into it, and then if you do that, it's fine. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's not really a big explanation on that one. It's just feeling it. It's like but it's the same when you're writing a ballad and you're writing a song that is more melancholic. If you don't feel sad, or you don't feel the sadness, or you don't feel the connection, then it's just a song. And it's both ways. It can be happy and it can be sad.
So with that in mind, then, because the last year and a half has been very strange for all of us, did that
Yeah.
affect the way you wrote?
Yeah, of course. I think it affected the way I wrote, and also I started producing again, which I hadn't done in like a lot of years. And I went back to that because I had a lot of time again. So there's a few songs in the album that I produced as well, and that was really good for me because I got back to the detail of the sounds and the detail of the vibe and everything, and I could focus on that as well. So I connected to the song in different levels. again. So that made me really happy. And I think you can also hear that in the album, that there's a few songs that have a different vibe or special vibe to it, that is a bit different, but the same with new instruments, I in the song called Hawaii, for example, I actually, it starts with a flute, and that flute I bought in Colombia it actually sounds like a sample, but it's a real flute that that I played in, and I'm not a professional flutist, and because I edited it later and stuff, but I bought it in Colombia, like I also bought a cuatro venezolano, which is the traditional Venezuelan guitar, to try out new stuff, So all of that, and the joy that I had trying out that instrument and experimenting with it, that's all in the album, and it's part of it. So I am always trying to find new challenges and new inspirations of what I can do when I'm writing the album. That I always put myself into everything.
Yeah, and I suppose this time around, some of what you had to do was out of necessity because the world was just simply closed off. So with delving into your production, as you say, what did you discover or rediscover about your own musicality?
Well, I had like different journeys between the beginning and the end of the whole pandemic, because also it was an incredible timing that I, like 5 months before the pandemic, I communicated to my label and to my management that I needed to rest, that I needed to write more without any pressure. And then I wanted to have time for that. I didn't want to rush the writing because I felt that the songs weren't getting better because I was doing so much, and I was overstressed actually a little bit. So with all the traveling, and everything, it's like I can do it. And then one day I felt maybe I should take some time, because I didn't feel a joy in writing anymore. So I took the time, and in the pandemic, really, I just went back to that and totally rediscovered, the first phase. It was all the phases, the first phase was like, okay, now I'm just going to write whatever comes out of me. And then one day it was just a really sad song. And the other day it was more like an up-tempo one again, but maybe a really bad one. I don't know, and then I continued that in that area just to let everything out. I think I needed to first let everything out, and then I could choose, okay, this thing is cool, or I don't know, this other idea sounds nice. So that kind of helped me to go through all those phases. And then I wrote so many songs. I wrote like 30 or 40 songs. And then after that, I could choose, for the album, how many or what songs I wanted to pick.
What was your selection criteria? Because like you said, there is some diversity on the album. There's some, and my Spanish isn't very good, so maybe we can delve into the lyrics a little bit more through your help. But what were you looking for, so to say, in this collection of songs?
I was looking for diversity, especially like what you said, because that's how I am. I am a very diverse person because I'm half Spanish, German. My mom is also half Belgian, so it's weird, and it's interesting, and it's different. So I think I get a lot of inspiration from a lot of places, and I like a lot of things, So I like a lot of music. So instead of saying I'm going to do an album that is only, I don't know, happy songs, an album that is only sad songs, I want to do everything in one. So I'm trying to get that balance, because as I said, the positive and the negative is always so important for me, and that it just makes all of that. And when I was choosing the album, I was saying, okay, first of all, I wanted to have good songs in the album. So from all the songs that I wrote, I did a selection of what I thought was the better songs. And by better, I mean the songs that I feel more when I listen to. So yeah, that was kind of the criteria, feeling those. And then of course, there's always one or two where you say, oh man, this also has to go in the album, or this has to be a single as well. When do we do that? There's like so many songs that I want everyone to hear. That is difficult, because it's also a pain releasing an album these days, because it's all on Spotify then, or on Apple Music or Amazon, whatever. And nobody's listening to an album like before. So that's always something that when you create an album, now it's almost like a playlist, so you feel if you put a song that you like, in the end it's not going to get so many streams as the ones that are on like third position or second one. So that's interesting. So
Well, that's an interesting thought in general in terms of kind of the way people consume music these days. So do you think, because I've asked other musicians this, because obviously you have your hit songs and they do well, but do you feel like those songs aren't always necessarily your own favorites, or that certain songs that you wrote that weren't as popular that you thought, well, this is even actually a better song?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the best song in the album is Tu Piel. That's the best song. and people are going to know, but not yet. It's actually, I'm releasing it actually in August in an acoustic version that I recorded with a kids choir, and it's such a beautiful version. I love the choir of the kids and the energy that they had on the song, and I don't know, for me it's a very special one, and I hope that people can connect to that as much as I do. But if they don't, it's okay, because in the end, my album was my album when I had it, and now I released it, and it's of the people. So I can't force anyone to like one song more than the other. And the good thing is everyone can choose a little, and then you can also see with Spotify and stuff, you can, in the end, you see how many streams every song has, and you feel, oh wow, this song has more streams than I thought. Like, why are people liking this one more than this one? Or it's always interesting to see, but with the years, you kind of get a feeling. You say, okay, people are probably going to like this one more than that one because it's easier written. People are going to understand it better. If the other one's too complicated, it has too many chords, it goes up and down, people are not going to get it. You feel like nowadays the easier ones are the ones that work better, and the most complicated ones for the people who handcraft. It's the most interesting one because it has more detail and more complexity to it, so that's always going to be there.
With that in mind, then you mentioned Tu Piel, and that means on your skin, I believe.
In your skin, yeah.
In your skin. What makes, in your mind, that song your favorite on the album? Is it the lyrics? Is it kind of the musical structure and the choir, as you mentioned? Or?
It's both, actually, because it's a combination of the lyrics. They talk about a very special connection with another person, where you sometimes feel that you want to be one instead of two, and that you want to, because the phrase is soldándome en tu piel, and soldándome means welding, like the metal welders. So it's welding into your skin, which is a very, for me, I don't know, it's a very romantic way of saying you love someone, and everything that it explains, the process of how it was made. I loved it. So of course, people are not knowing. They don't know how it was done, the song, and it's okay because it's very intimate. It's just me who knows, and maybe my producers. But that and I wanted to do a song. My goal is to make a song that when you start playing it on the guitar, everyone knows the song. It was like, oh, okay, I know which song it is. And it's not like you're playing C, F, G, A, you're really like going on different chords that sound special. So that's what I was looking for. That's why it begins with like these kind of flamenco chords, which are kind of part of me, but then it switches onto like the Coldplay ending with the Tu Piel with the choir and everything, which is like an incredible combination. It doesn't come back to the beginning again because I didn't feel like it. I feel like the song like needs to go there somehow, and it's cool. Right. It's unconventional. That's why I love it.
When you write about these things, and then there's more songs, so I kind of written down the translations of at least the titles, but cool. They do deal with romantic relationships and those kind of things. So when you write those, are they based on memories? Are they based on specific moments in your life?
Yeah, sure. They're all based on personal experiences. So maybe it was mine, maybe it was an experience of somebody else. There's also the song Tipo Normal. That's actually, that's entirely about me, because I wrote like a self-descriptive song, because I feel like I'm this normal guy, who doesn't doesn't need all the luxury and all these things around me to feel good. And then I'm just like a normal guy, and that's how you like me, and that's how it should be, and not because of everything else that we might have. So it's always a bit like that. Alma de Luz is also a very personal song, the last song on the album, which also sounds very old, because it's a 3/4 song, it's a waltz. And that one also talks about the diversity of cultures, and that we should be curious about other cultures instead of being rejective, and closed.
With Tipo Normal, what I find interesting then, what do you make of kind of this musical career that you have, and then kind of the hecticness that it can be involved with? As you say, you're a very normal person. So what do you make of kind of that world that you're situated in?
I kind of I try to take the best of it, but I stay out of the worst. So for me, that's very important to stay connected to my friends, to my family. But still, I love the adrenaline and all the crazy stuff that happens around it, around the show. With the people, the connection with the people. That's something that's just amazing. That's something that's extra natural. You can't feel like such connection with the crowd if you're not on a stage like that. It's weird and it's amazing, and I love it, and I miss it a lot, of course, now.
Yeah, that's what my next question would be, because I did see that you have some tour dates planned for 2022.
Yes.
But what was it like having that part of what you do, which is, as you mentioned, an important part of what you do? What was it like having that missing?
Well, it was horrible because I felt useless, because it's like if a part of your job is just taken, it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's especially the part that you love most when, and also it's the part that I love most, that I learned to love most, because in the beginning, when everything was starting, I was just, writing songs at home, and I felt I didn't need the connection to the people, because it was just about songs, that I was processing with myself, and it was like a therapy kind of thing. But then when the songs become of the people also, then it becomes an incredible exchange of energy and a connection on stage and in the concert. So that for me is like the gift of all the work that you've put into, then the people are giving back to you all the work you're putting into. And then you say, okay, it's worth it. It's worth it to not sleep. It's worth it to go around everywhere and to take a plane at 5 a.m. and waking up and doing all of that. And if that's not there anymore, then you feel, oh, fuck, maybe it's not worth it. No, but you especially feel that you need, that connection with the people. And I think everyone needs it, not only the stage, but also the crowd area. Because I played my first show after 2 years in Barcelona, now 2 weeks ago. And man, I can tell you that was the greatest show of my life. It was really incredible. I had like joy in my eyes all the time. I was feeling it. My family was there. It was, I don't know, it was indescribable. It was just the greatest feeling I ever had.
And like you say, I think because people have been deprived of it for a while now as well, that people are hungry for it now, that they really want it. Final question then. When did you know that the album was going to be called Magia?
Yeah, when?
Yeah.
I don't know, half a year ago or something, or even more, maybe almost 3/4. Because I decided, the single Magia got the word into the room, and then I said, hey, I'm going to call the album Magia. And then normally, I talk to the label, I tell them, hey, that's my idea. And then say, oh, well, this is a complicated word for us in Germany or whatever. And then they all said like, oh, cool, nice, let's do it. And I was like, that was easy. It's the easiest album decision in the world. But yeah, it was great because, Magia, the song Magia also stands for like hope and positive energy and good vibes in such a difficult time. So I felt like the hope still needed to continue in this album, and I wanted to dedicate the album to all of that, to give us strength to carry on. So it was clear it had to be Magia.
Yeah, there's one line in that song, La vida es una canción. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but But that line, what does that mean to you?
Well, it's exactly, I think what we all should do, because then sometimes there's a pandemic that can come, and then if you haven't lived your life in a good way, or because life is a song, because a song is only 3 minutes long, and it's very short. So life is short. It's just like that. Life is short, and you should take every good moment out of it before it takes all the bad ones in.
I think that's a good thing to remember for us all. Alvaro, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much.